What if the doorway to mindfulness isn't found on a meditation mat, but in a bedtime story? What if the most powerful healing tool a child will ever have has been inside them all along, waiting to be remembered? Let me tell you a story. It started with these small moments, the ones that hide between the morning rush and bedtime. The forgotten tears, the heavy sighs, the invisible weight children carry after long days in a busy world. I could see it in my children, the tension in their shoulders, the way their eyes dimmed after holding it all together. They didn't have words for what they felt, but their body spoke clearly. Something inside them hurts. And like any mother, I try to help with deep breaths, soft words, let's talk about it. But I begin to notice something. Calm can be forced. It has to be remembered. So one night, I stopped trying to fix their mood. And instead, I invited them to travel. Not to another room, but to another world. We closed our eyes and I said, let's go to an astral voyage, we called it. Let's visit the stars. We breathed the moon, floated through clouds of colors, and followed a tiny beam of light led straight into their hearts. When the story ended, they were quiet, peaceful in a way that felt anciently familiar. Their nerve system had softened. Their light had returned and something magical happened. Every night after that, they asked for another voyage. But now they were in charge, choosing where they wanted to go. One night on the ocean floor, another to Rainbow Cave, another to the place that they called where the thoughts get washed clean. I simply followed and weaving their ideas into stories that helped untangle the hardness of the day. The tears, the fears, the tiny heartbreaks children carry but can't name. Together we traveled and together we healed. That's when I understood. Children don't learn mindfulness through stillness. They remember it through story. So, as a holistic therapist, dancer, and yogi, I've spent over 2 decades exploring how energy, body, and emotion intertwine. And I begin to see what science now confirms, that imagination is one of the most powerful self-regulation tools we have. When a child imagines, their brain doesn't know, it's just pretend. The same narrow pathways light up as when they live that experience for real. So when a story invites a child to breathe with their ocean or find the glow inside their chest, their body actually responds. Heart rate slows, muscle relax. Their entire system shifts from fight to flight, to rest and restore. Stories, in other words, are medicine. And medicine grows stronger when it's shared. When parents and children read together, something extraordinary happens. Their nerve system synchronize. They breathe together. They feel together. It's what psychologists call co-regulation, but what I call love in action. A story becomes a bridge between the adult world of doing and the child world of being. And through that bridge, healing flows both ways. Because let's be honest, adults need these stories too. We also forget how to slow down, how to dream, how to feel safe in our own stillness. Sometimes our children are the ones that actually is guiding us home. Let me tell you something else. Long before I helped my children travel through their imagination, I had to learn to travel back into my own. As a child, I didn't grow up feeling safe. I learned early how to stay alert, to shrink, to disappear, to survive. And for many years, that alertness stayed inside me like a quiet hum, shaping how I moved through the world. But recently, through that same practice I share with my children, I did something I once thought impossible. I went back in my mind to meet that little girl who never got defended. This time, I arrived as a woman I've become. Strong, safe, capable of protecting that little girl. I told her softly, "You are safe now. You can rest." And as I spoke, I saw something remarkable. A soft bubble of gray cloud rise from around her, lifting into the air until it dissolves into light. In that instant, I felt her peace and mine. That's when I realized the power of imagination isn't escape, it's integration. It allows us to return, to gather the parts of ourselves that we had to leave behind and bring them home. So, somewhere along the way, we began to teach mindfulness as silence, as something that must be mastered rather than remembered. But children remind us that mindfulness isn't about sitting still, it's about being fully alive. When they imagine a glowing seed inside their heart, they're not escaping reality, they're creating balance within it. Their imagination becomes their compass, one that leads them back to safety, wonder, and truth. This is why I wrote The Superpower Inside You. Not to teach mindfulness, but to remind families that peace lives in the most unexpected place, in story time, in imagination, in presence, in presence shared between hearts. So tonight, when you tuck your child in bed, pause. Put away the to-do list, the noise, the rush. Tell them a story that helps them feel delight within their chest. Breathe with them. Let them lead the way. Remind them that no matter what happens tomorrow, there is a superpower inside them that never leaves. Because mindfulness doesn't begin on the mat. It begins in the heart. It begins in imagination. And it begins in you.